Melanie's sacrifice gave us a map.
We find New Eden, and then we go back for the others.
Another day, another near-death experience.
So when last we tuned into Snowpiercer, Andre, Alex, and a few others had broken away from Big Alice on their own little pirate train to hopefully, but unsuccessfully, find Melanie. Talk about some of the challenges that this little pirate train, this little mighty train that could, will be facing.
What you'll learn very quickly is that it's the opposite problem that on Snowpiercer, which is that this train runs real hot. You get to see different kinds of costumes on there. But yeah, they are mostly trying to complete Melanie's mission at this point and find, you know, they're tracking down these warming spots, and it's not going well.
How's it looking?
Palm trees, golden sands. Gotta catch me some North Korean waves.
Nice, I'll grab my board. I'll be right out, bro.
They're sending folks out to try and test the soil and figure out different ways on if they can find a place that might be suitable to live outside of the train, with the ultimate goal of like getting the train back together and bringing everybody there.
Well, obviously it's hot, it's strenuous, they're on a mission, they want to complete the mission. We want to find out more about Melanie, and we also have, you know, Wilford creating a lot of stress with us. But I think for me, the main focus was getting to explore my relationships with these characters that I don't get to interact with very much. Like Bess, like Ido's character Ben, David's character Leighton, etc. Just getting to really explore what those dynamics would be like for Alex. It's hard for her to rely on people, and it's hard for her to trust people. So getting to explore that was really probably one of my favorite things.
You can do this, okay?
I can't.
You all are working with kind of a skeleton crew there on the pirate train. Talk about how the roles kind of change and how people have to kind of learn new skills.
Yeah, well, when you're isolated with any group of people, you all kind of take on a different role, even if it's subconscious. Alex is obviously, you know, manning the train with Ben, but like I said before, she gets to kind of have this like little family, and it's interesting to feel out what it's like to have this other family. And I think throughout the season, she becomes so close with them and really, really trusts them.
What would Ben do?
He would grab a pen and paper and start mansplaining.
Okay, good. Just talk it out then.
With Mickey's character too, just getting to have kind of a sisterhood on Snowpiercer is nice too, because Alex doesn't really get to interact with that many people, or at least we haven't seen her.
Talk about how the roles kind of change, how people kind of have to adapt and assume new responsibilities. Like, has Andre been kind of like boning up on science a little bit, maybe?
He's getting a little more comfortable with science. Bennett's with him, so there's still someone really holding down the science. But what Andre's had to do is get much more comfortable in like the captain's role. You know, he's a pretty reluctant train captain and really never fancied himself like that kind of leader. And when we meet him, he's gotten more comfortable with it, and his crew works really well together.
How long do you need?
8 minutes to get up to speed. 10 to 12 minutes to run a discharge sequence.
Great, go.
They're less dysfunctional, actually, than they have been in past seasons.
Now, David, when Andre is not thinking about how to possibly save civilization, where's his head at with the two women in his life? I mean, Zara, his baby mama, is on the other train, but meanwhile, he's got Josie there with him.
That is Andre's sort of interesting emotional conflict. At least at the start of the season, Andre and Josie are trying to keep it professional, particularly Josie. They have feelings for each other, and they have a long, long history. And so, and that stuff has a way of coming out at really inopportune times for them, I think.
You know, one time, just for a change of pace, you could respect the chain of command.
But then I think Andre is also like trying to wrap his head around being a father, and he's away from the mother of his child, and that's hard for him. He doesn't know what's going on with the pregnancy, but also the prospect of being a father is something that complicates his idealism a little bit. I think there's something that may exist that is more important to him than the train and then the people as a whole, like than society. And that hasn't been true for him before because he was so willing to sacrifice his own life. But there's this new wrinkle in that for him that I think is difficult for him to wrap his head around.
Have you been avoiding me?
In addition to the friendlies there on the pirate train, you also have Miss Audrey. How's that going to play out?
Obviously, Alex and Miss Audrey have a spiteful relationship. Yeah, I don't know. Some of the funniest scenes for me are just watching those two characters come for each other.
I told them to lock you in the meat locker.
Those are really fun for me to play. Everyone's separated from Wilford at the moment, so it's interesting to see how that comes up.
Now, what all are we saying about seeing Melanie again? What do you got for me?
I got nothing.
we are seeing Melanie again this season. It's under which circumstances that is going to be a surprise.
Is she real? Is she alive? Is she a fantasy? Is she a dream?
Who knows, Matt? We have to find out, don't we?